Skyblivion is one of the largest mod projects out there, with the lofty goal of recreating and reimagining the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion within Skyrim's engine. Over the years, the team has shown steady progress, with their current goal being a release next year in 2025. In their most recent dev diary, they showed off a lot of their work on the new menus and user interface, including a custom system to bring back Oblivion's birth signs, class system, and level up screens. But in the same video, they also showed off their own take on the lockpicking system, which will replace the minigame that we've been playing from Fallout 3's Skyrim and onwards through Fallout 4 and 76. Instead, the Skyblivion team created a new lockpicking minigame, inspired by Oblivion's original system, while also taking inspiration from the Elder Scrolls Online. And to make matters even better, they released it as a standalone mod, available now to any and all players. Well, any and all PC players with Skyrim Script Extender Special Edition installed. But that's the only requirement, which makes for a super easy installation. This brand new system becomes available as soon as the mod is installed, and it can be used on an existing playthrough. It even comes with full controller support, in addition to the native mouse and keyboard functionality. Testing hasn't shown any incompatibilities with other UI mods so far, including SkyUI and Nordic UI. But there could be some issues if you have a mod that directly affects the functionality of lockpicking menus specifically. The only one that I can think of off the top of my head would be the security overhaul. But even then, there just wouldn't be any reason to have the two mods installed at the same time. And obviously, a lot of other lockpicking specific mods may prove to be incompatible, just in case you weren't sure about that one. But let's talk about how it plays. In terms of gameplay, it feels a little bit more like ESO's lockpicking, and honestly, I consider that to be a good thing. To successfully pick a lock, you need all of the tumblers placed in the correct position. You'll click and hold your lockpick on each pin one at a time, releasing your mouse click when you're in the sweet spot, which is denoted by the tumbler shaking a bit more and a corresponding audio cue. The time that you have in that sweet spot is higher on lower level locks and lower on higher level locks. The same way that the sweet spot for lockpicking in vanilla decreases with lock level. Novice locks have only one tumbler that needs to be set. Apprentice has 2, Adept 3, Expert 4, and Master with the full 5. Tumblers that already have set positions can be undone with failed lockpicking attempts, even on lower level locks. So failing a novice lock could open up a second tumbler that then needs to be set. Your auto attempt percentage is dictated by your lockpicking skill level, and the progress on that skill can be seen in the menu, both via progress bar and by a percentage number. That way you get a little bit of a better idea of how much each successful attempt, or failed one, raises that skill. For auto attempt, novice locks start with a percentage of 6.75% at a base level of 15 lockpicking, and a max of 45% at lockpicking level 100. This percentage does change with each lock type, with master locks having a base level success rate of 1.5% and going up to a maximum of 10%. As someone who has pretty poor reaction time, master level locks do feel challenging still, even with the master locks perk unlocked. But if you have enough lockpicks on hand, or you have the skeleton key, you can just hit auto attempt again and again until it opens. The main change to the skill line made with the mod is the locksmith perk, which instead makes it so that one less pin has to be picked. But that doesn't apply to the novice locks, obviously. And if you fail to open the rest of the tumblers, the one that comes pre-unlocked can still come undone. Auto attempts can be a really easy way to level the skill, but obviously it depends on having enough lockpicks in the first place. But unlike the vanilla game, the mod does show the number of lockpicks after 99. It's a small thing, but it's a really nice touch. Both the lockpick and the skeleton key get new models and textures for the mod, which can be seen both in the minigame itself and from the inventory view. This actually brings the skeleton key model much more in line with the version from Oblivion, which this is part of Skyblivion, so that would make sense. There's also brand new sound effects for the mod, courtesy of Heavy Burns. The way in which they combined the Oblivion and ESO systems really works well. In Oblivion, the number of pins would be based on lock level, whereas in ESO, you would have all 5 pins regardless of level, and you would be timed as well. Removing the timed component from ESO, but keeping the number of pins based on difficulty from Oblivion was a great way to balance it out. Keeping the pressure system from ESO and getting rid of Oblivion's more quick-click system makes the minigame feel a bit more accessible. I was never particularly great at Oblivion's lockpicking system because, well, bad reaction time. This hybrid system gives a bit more leeway and forgiveness by comparison, while still providing enough of a challenge on higher level locks. Oblivion's lockpicking I was better with on controller than I was on mouse and keyboard. ESOs I'm okay with on either one. Testing this new system on controller, I did find the timing slightly easier, and that controller support felt really well done. There's really not much I could suggest to improve upon the mod, frankly. I would maybe want to see a slight change in the audio cue trigger, just to make it occur slightly sooner, as I was often listening for that to find the sweet spot rather than just going off of the tumbler itself. The only other suggestion I might have would be for controller. It would be nice if there was a way that you could swap between tumblers with just a flick of the joystick, rather than fully moving between each one. But both of these are very minor suggestions, and they might even be limited to me personally. To me, this is something that continues to show that the sky's the limit for Skyrim modding. There's been a lot of incredible feats in modding over the years, and it's crazy to think that ultimately, this is just one piece of the giant puzzle that is Skyblivion. The fact that they're designing all of these different systems, in addition to remaking the actual quest content and world space for all of Oblivion, it's insane. And I love that they do some of these standalone releases. In the past, they've released a couple of the new armors as independent downloads, and it works as a great way to let players see the content for themselves. In the case of the lockpicking mod, it gives players a chance to try it out now, and have it as a way to change up a core part of Skyrim's gameplay that we've known for over a dozen years now. Even longer than that if we take into account that we've been using the exact same lockpicking minigame since Fallout 3. If you know me, you know that I love the modding community, and I love to see what they're able to put their minds to. Skyblivion is a project that is very near and dear to me, not just because I love the size and scale of it, but because it's the team's way of getting to reimagine Oblivion the way that they see fit. If you've watched the dev diaries over the years, you can see how much work has gone into trying to distinguish the different biomes and zones, to making content feel much more unique. The best way to describe it is that Skyblivion has the hindsight of what Oblivion can be so many years later, with more time, with more modern approaches to video game design, and with an unparalleled level of passion. The point of this video was not just to show off the lockpicking system itself, but to hopefully point some people to Skyblivion. Odds are 99.999% of my viewers already know of it, but even if there's 1 or 2 people who don't, I'm happy to share that with them. And while I know that the Skyblivion team always brings it up themselves, let me take this chance to say it as well. The team is still looking for volunteers. As always, non-commercial projects such as these live and die based on the level of support that they get from passionate people such as themselves. Their 2025 release is one that they're confident on, based on their current level of production and participation. But that could change. With more volunteers, that timeline could be moved up slightly. I'm including a link in the description to their site, so that you can check them out and see if you have some of the skills needed in order to help out. As always, thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, check out the Patreon or the YouTube memberships, both of which get access to the Discord server. YouTube members also get access to the channel emotes, which can be used in the comments below. And make sure to check out the streams at twitch.tv/0periodproductions. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.